The United States Justice Department, on behalf of President Donald J. Trump, has finalized a sealed indictment naming Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, and member of the Coronavirus Task Force, a traitor to America, according to a Washington sources familiar with the issue. The indictment, which currently sits on the Resolute desk in the Oval Office, charges Fauci with numerous high crimes and misdemeanors, many of which could see Fauci stripped of his medical license, and deported to Gitmo for the rest of his natural life. Those charges reportedly include treason, conspiring with the enemy, and fraud. Article 2 of Section 4 of the United States Constitution states, "The President, Vice President and all civil officers of the United States, shall be removed from office on impeachment for, and conviction of, treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors." While Fauci is neither a politician nor a government official, he is a career civil servant, and therefore can be charged with criminal malfeasance as is outlined in Article 2, Section 4. Sources close to the Fauci probe said, Trump became suspicious of Fauci's intentions after reading tweets linking the doctor to a deep state coup designed to cripple his re-election campaign. These tweets alleged Fauci, and none other than Barack Hussein Obama, had orchestrated a hoax to tank the economy, spelling doom for a president whose main presidential achievement was fostering an economic resurgence. The tweets surmise the virus is a pretext for stripping Americans of the rights and freedoms they hold dear, and that Fauci wants to usher in a new world order that would abolish the Constitution and replace the United States leaders with United Nations personnel. Fauci's fishy behavior at virus press briefings further fueled Trump's suspicion. On March 20, Trump called the State Department the Deep State Department. Standing behind him, Fauci made a dismissive hand gesture, dropped his head, and rubbed his forehead. Our source said, Trump took it as a personal slight. Trump doesn't forgive or forget. He had his eye on Fauci, and Fauci's actions helped confirm the president's suspicions. Moreover, Fauci has been a frequent guest of CNN and MSNBC, networks that often criticize Trump's pandemic response endeavors. He has used his status as one of America's most notable physicians to directly contradict Trump's messages. The tweets, combined with Fauci's radical conduct, prompted Trump to direct the Justice Department to investigate the Fauci-Obama connection. Investigators learned, and apparently leaked data proving that, in 2015 Obama instructed Fauci to authorize a $3.5 million donation to a Wuhan virology lab. Fox News and The Washington Post have run articles questioning whether virus originated at the Wuhan facility. Additionally, a wiretap on Fauci's phone and electronic devices revealed the good doctor and the disgraced former president have kept a close friendship. Intercepted phone calls and emails showed that Obama and Fauci had conspired to undermine Trump's authority by having Fauci give the president unsound medical advice in matters involving the pandemic. First, Fauci told Trump the virus was nothing to worry about. Then he reversed course and warned Trump virus would utterly ravage the country unless martial law-like steps were at once taken to curb the spread. Fauci misrepresented facts and figures, and he artificially inflated the case fatality rate, CFR, by instructing the CDC to label all respiratory distress-related deaths as virus fatalities, even if the person never received a virus test. Some examples transcend absurdity. For example, in Queen, NY, a 23-year-old black male had been walking home from a convenience store when a car pulled up alongside him, and its driver emptied a pistol magazine in his chest. 2 rounds struck his chest, collapsing both lungs. Because he had breathing difficulty, and was put on a ventilator prior to death 2 hours later, hospital staff said the virus killed him. They did not perform a virus test. In Brooklyn, a 96-year-old diabetic woman with high blood pressure dropped dead when her heart stopped beating. The New York City Medical Examiner's Office listed the cause of death, virus. The next day, New York added over 3,000 presumptive positives to the state's growing sum of virus fatalities. Trump's investigative team unearthed a trove of evidence that proves Dr. Fauci compelled the state to blame all inexact deaths since January on the virus. Our source said. In doing so, they've amplified the death count. The more virus deaths, the worse Trump looks. And the tighter restrictions get as more states adopt martial law. Trump had enough, and decided he'd put the screws to Fauci. If all information is correct, Trump's special prosecutor secretly indicted Fauci, charging the deep state doctor with crimes under the Patriot Act and the 1917 Espionage Act. Nevertheless, Trump has yet to fire the popular doctor whose face is synonymous with words like trustworthiness, honesty, and integrity. As the pandemic spread, so too did Fauci's popularity, and his importance at daily press briefings eclipsed that of frontman Trump and Pence. Sources said Trump will not prematurely fire Fauci, because doing so might backfire in his face, and cost him the 2020 election. And Fauci will not quit because he likely hopes to plea bargain his way out of a life sentence at Guantanamo Bay. Although the formal accusation is sealed, Fauci knows the gig is up. They've revoked his passport. After Trump wins the election, and after the pandemic has run its course, the indictment will be opened, and Dr. Fauci will face a military tribunal to answer for his crimes against America. In recent months, Fauci has become one of the most widely recognized and respected faces of the federal government's management of the novel virus. His even-keeled, data-focused response to the pandemic has even fostered an ardent fan base, with calls for the 79-year-old immunologist to be named People magazine's Sexiest Man Alive, or awarded a Nobel Prize. But Fauci's advocacy of federal social distancing guidance, and willingness to openly contradict the president on matters such as virus testing and potential treatments have sparked intense criticism from some of Trump's supporters, as well as speculation about his standing in the White House. The president sought to signal unity with Fauci in late March after a series of interviews, news reports and conspicuous absences hinted at heightened frustration with the career public health official. Questions regarding his job security further intensified on April 12, after Trump shared a tweet arguing it was time to fire Fauci. Demands to oust Fauci resurfaced during a demonstration in Austin, Texas, against stringent mitigation measures meant to curb the spread of the virus. Fire Fauci! The protesters chanted. The rally was one of several organized by conservative groups, in which thousands of participants marched in state capitals across the nation, in defiance of stay-at-home orders issued by governors.
Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.